Hey, welcome back to whatever this is. My name is Kaysa. I'm online and I just got from the gym. It is literally the next morning and I just wanted to get on here and just talk a little bit. I recorded a video. I finally figured out a lot of other technical things that I've been dealing with. Made a video that I wanted to make. Spent a lot of time doing it. And then I got a copyright claim because of the film. Because I forgot that that's a thing. New YouTuber, hello, forgot that that's things I would have to consider and worry about. So I am currently trying to dispute it. It's for a film, Lucy, but I didn't use the entire film. There's no possible way that they can say that I am trying to just upload a film somehow in 17 minutes unless they make the claim that I fast forwarded the entire film, which I just don't have the time. But while that's being digested by the YouTubes, it said that it may take up to 30 days. And I just can't imagine waiting 30 days to see if that film will go up. So I'm also just going to film this right here. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, my life, a little bit of an update on the things that I'm doing. I am, again, waking up at 6 a.m. Before it was 5 a.m., but 6 a.m. and trying to get back into a bit of a routine. I let that fall away for a little bit. You know how it is. Sometimes you're just like, and I'm done. And I realize a lot about how much effort I actually put into things. And it's not that I'm trying to talk down on myself on the efforts that I've made in the past. I have made goals and achievements and things in that nature. But it's just a nice little reminder to know that you can always pick up at any time. And I only say this because in my line of work, because I do work full time, a lot of the times people often say to me, well, I'm too old, or I am an older person, or it's too late for me, or blah, 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 blah. And I was just thinking about how irritated I am now hearing that statement over and over again. And it's funny because for the longest time, I thought the same thing, but I'm only 26, about to be 27. So for majority of my life, I already thought it was too late for myself. So I think that's the real origin of my irritation. I put the it's too late thing. And we do live in a society that teaches you that if you don't get it done as early and as soon as possible, then you might as well just give up because it takes too much time. But we have our entire lives, and I know we say that all the time, but we have just about 80 to 100 years or so, and years take a long time. Like, that's literally years. And by the time that you actually pass all that time, you could have gotten so many things done, a plethora of things done. And what I have noticed is that during all that time, I feel as though that I personally have a lot of ideas and thoughts. My brain is exploding with creativity. I'm currently trying to work on this book series that I've been trying to write since 2019. It's been a conception. I've been trying to put words to paper. I'm actually making some sort of progress, but every single time I say I made progress, all of a sudden I forget that I'm writing a book. But I realized that it's not about those people who's like, yeah, just do 1% at a time, do this dedication, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I genuinely just get overwhelmed with time. How much time I have, how much time I don't have, dedicating myself. I think a lot of my issues also is because creativity comes in spurts, and that's the same way as anything involving motivation or even discipline. That comes in spurts for myself too. I'm now back in the gym. I'm going to try to give it a solid 3 months. And then I know in 3 months from now, I'm probably going to get bored. And if I don't reach my goals, I'm going to also get frustrated. Bored plus frustrated means I'm just going to stop for a couple of months and then see how I feel. It's just one of those things. I'm in a cycle. I recognize that. But doesn't mean I'm going to stop. I'm going to still work towards my goals. But I just realized with this thing about time, and maybe it's primarily with my ADHD, but I also think it's a societal thing where we constantly feel so impatient and we are constantly also already defeated. Like, we already gave up before we got there. I mean, we have nearly zero convictions for our goals 99% of the time. We hear about other people facing the odds and overcoming their obstacles, and then we cheer them on, say congratulations to them, pat them on the head, give them a gold star, and then that's it. We move on with our lives. There's so many people out there who get motivated and then that's it. They were motivated mentally. They fantasized about a different life and then they just did it. And I know this is a reoccurring thing, but I just also just wonder how many people have decided to already give up because they were far more comfortable with the idea of just suffering mentally. Does that make any sense? The best way I want to put it, I think because of the whole comfort thing, I think somebody wrote a book about the comfort crisis or something along those lines. But because we are so comfortable with how our suffering is mentally, conceptually, should I say, not just mentally, but conceptually, we are far more comfortable with our current form of suffering because we're familiar with it, that the idea of suffering, which is just discomfort in a different version for us a lot of the times, out in the world trying is a lot worse. A lot of people are far more adverse to the idea of making an effort because they don't want to be uncomfortable with the idea of trying and then failing. But that's not necessarily the correlation there, because we tell people you're supposed to improve in, increments. Like, you are going to fail, you're going to have to improve in increments, but people don't want to fail at all. So we are in a space where if you don't get it immediately, and if it's not perfect immediately, then no one wants to do anything. And I think that's a societal issue that we have. And this is not news or anything. This is just me early in the morning yapping, as you know. But how it applies to myself is that I realize how I don't think I have that in the same capacity as I did growing up anymore. And it's a weird shift in my own head where I can now trust myself to stop working out for some months and know that I'm going to get back into it and continue my progress because I have made progress. It took me a couple of years to start making progress, and I didn't stop trying until I started making real progress. And I knew, like, I could actually measure what that progress actually looked like, what my effort actually looked like, what my resources and how things were coming together, how much effort I was putting into learning. And it's weird to look back and see that sort of reflection. Essentially, that's all I'm doing. I'm reflecting. But at the same time, I still feel like I'm struggling so much with time. I feel like I never have enough time. The current events of the world make me feel like the world's going to end in like 10 minutes or something. And I don't have a foresight of the future. Like, I don't have a perspective of the future. And it's weird to be in this space where it feels like I am not bound to this need to stay comfortable, but I'm also, I guess, not sure about where I'm going anymore. And it's a very interesting space because it's fun, it's exciting, it's scary. I don't know what this space is. It's a cross between both developing yourself and then also refining yourself at the same time. And maybe this all relates to my recent need to establish to myself who I am. Like I said, I just realized that I do trust myself, and that's a leap within itself. A lot of people don't actually trust themselves out there and don't realize that. A lot of people don't understand what real struggle is, or even real character is. A lot of people are just bots out there. But this is just me just realizing that despite who I functioned as before, right? Because that's still me. I have actually developed myself on my own to get into a space where I feel like I can actually craft a future for myself the way that I want to see it, that is different from others that I have been, exposed to or around. But at the same time, I don't know what that exactly is. I don't know exactly what I truly want from my future. Like, you can say general things: peace, love, joy, happiness, financial freedom, all of that fun stuff. But it's a weird space to say, like, well, I'm making a lot of efforts, but I don't know where that effort is going to. I'm just trying a lot of things, doing a lot of stuff, And I'm having fun doing it, and I like that. I think I developed this mentality. I like the journey. But it's just a fun and then also confusing, and then also just like I don't know how to place it emotionally either. Like I don't know what to do with this space that I'm in. It's exciting, but I'm also anxious at the same time. Where I said at the beginning, we have our entire lives to do these things, but I think I'm also constantly worried that I'm wasting my life at the same time doing random stuff. You know, the hindsight feeling you get sometimes where you're thinking, oh, had I just done this at this time instead of all that other stuff, then maybe I'd be here where I want to be now. But I don't know where I want to be in the future. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that like mismatch. So it's so interesting where I am right now. But I thought I'd just come on here and just share that. Maybe other people understand what these words are. I might have just talked for 10 minutes where I could simply just say in a single sentence what my entire point is. But this is just my little, you know, thought train that I'm on right now. I was on a treadmill. I had better, you know, words in my head on the treadmill, but, you know, can't really write things down when you're on the treadmill. So there's that too. I also wanted to make sure I got a video out. I don't want to, it's 2 weeks in a row where I was either late or, you know, having to make a post saying like, sorry, I don't have a video. And I don't want to wait on my one video dispute. I don't want to trust and hope that it'll come out today or something like that. It's likely not going to happen. So I'll work on another video. Hopefully that other video gets approved sooner rather than later. And I'm going to go to work. Whew. Yeah, so with that being said, comment, like, subscribe. Please just let me know your thoughts. Like, does anybody else just have better words to say the things that I just said myself? I don't know. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Okay, bye.